Greetings. Welcome to the Beyond the Care podcast. I am your host, Dr. Paula. This podcast is about sharing information, resources, and the journey and experience of caregivers. So I hope that something you hear sparks something inside of you to help you along your journey. I'm excited about today's guest. Today's guest will share information about documentation and paperwork that you need as a caregiver. And we often don't think about this information, but it's so very important. So make sure you have a pen and paper in case you want to take notes. And I hope that something that you hear today sparks and resonates within you and will help you along your journey. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on and welcome our guest for today, Miss Tamra Stokes. Greetings, my Beyond the Care podcast family. I am so excited again about today's guest. Today's guest we have is Miss Tamra Stokes. Welcome, Tamra.
Thank you.
So glad to have you on. Thank you for being here. And Tamra's going to talk a little bit today about the documentation and information that you need as a caregiver. But first, let me read a little bit about her bio. I'm only going to read a little bit because if I read it all, we'll be here all day because she is so esteemed. So Tamra Stokes is a transformational life coach, author, speaker, and founder of Reimagining Life Coaching, known as the Authentic Caregiver Coach. All right now. She empowers overwhelmed family caregivers to heal emotionally, discover themselves, and find fulfillment amid the demands of caregiving. Drawing from over 20 years as an educator and 4.5 years as the primary caregiver for her mother, Tamra brings wisdom, empathy, and lived experience to her work. While caring for her mother, Tamra repatterned her journey into a mission to support family caregivers. Her coaching blends mindset shifts, emotional release, breath work, nature-based grounding practices, and journaling to guide clients through emotional discord and into purposeful transformation. She loves to share her powerful story of healing and reimagining life. All right. So I can't wait to hear your story and for you to share with the audience. So Tamra, tell us a little bit about your caregiving journey, how you became a caregiver, and who you cared for.
Okay. So, I was a caregiver for my mom. She transitioned in January of 2025. So we're coming up on 7 months now.
Oh, recent.
Yes. And I chose to be the caregiver for my mom because I saw what she went through. She raised my sister, my older sister, and I. She was a widow. I'm approaching 60. And so my dad died when I was 5. And she found him at the house. We were having a pajama party. She had to run outside to go to the store. And that's where she found my dad. And so as the youngest, I didn't really see the trauma that she and the grief that she actually really never had a chance to do because she had to raise 2 young girls. And so she took care of us and we didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss any of those childhood lifetime things because she made sure that we had them. So it was a no-brainer when I started to see some health issues to take her in. And actually, I saw the things happening, and then I got a call from the Cleveland police, come get your mother. So that sort of pushed it a little faster.
Right.
Yes. So I didn't know what caregiving looked like. I just thought, oh, my mom is here. I'm going to take care of her. It'll be fun. Well, and she was very independent when she first came to stay with my husband and I.
Okay.
And it was only in the last, I'm so blessed because it really was only in the last year or so she had a stroke and she just couldn't seem to get her footing back. And that's when the true like caregiving, having to bathe her and do all those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things came in. So we used to joke and I used to tell her I was her personal assistant
Mm.
the beginning of her journey here with me.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless,
Mm-hmm.
it is definitely a uphill task.
Right. So your mom got sick and you brought her to live with you into your house?
Yes, well, she was having some memory issues, and
Okay.
I got in the car
Mm-hmm.
and went up to a doctor's appointment with her. And at that doctor's appointment, they laughed at me because I said I would like her to be tested because she's repeating the same thing over and over, telling me the same stories. And I didn't really know what that was, but I knew that wasn't my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so they laughed. Oh, she doesn't have any problems. She's fine. And I'm thinking, but I didn't
Something's not
know.
right. Right.
Right. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. I didn't know until she came down here. I got us enrolled in a dual caregiving, or actually, it was a dual support group.
Mm-hmm.
It was a memory counseling. So we would both go. I went with the caregivers, and she went with all the other people who had memory issues. And that was our counseling. And it wasn't until I sat there and everybody's going around introducing themselves and my person has, MCI and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Like I
Right.
had
Mm,
no
mm-hmm.
clue. And so I found out she got tested
Mm-hmm.
and actually I scheduled the test, but our healthcare system is so wonderful. We
Hmm.
had like 6 months to wait. And I'm like, that's not going to help me.
Right.
When she had her stroke, unfortunately, that catapulted us to the top of the list.
Okay.
And that's not the way that I would suggest people get to the top of the list. But
Right.
for us, she got all of the tests
Mm-hmm.
while she was in the hospital when she had her initial stroke. And so that gave us a diagnosis of the mild cognitive impairment, but she had the frontal vascular dementia.
Okay. So when you got the diagnosis and you heard and was confirmed that your mom had dementia, what ran through your mind? How did you feel? What did you think?
I'm the egghead of the family, so
Did you say egghead?
I said egghead.
Okay.
I devoured
Mm-hmm.
books
Mm.
and I devoured the internet and
Mm.
I looked up what's going on. I pulled out my anatomy and physiology books
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to know what was happening so I could understand when I went in to talk to the doctors and not just be um, them talking to me, but we were
Right.
having an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing that I am strong in. I saw it in my mom growing up to advocate for yourself because most times the medical establishment is going to talk at you instead of
Right.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I demanded. No, you were going to have a conversation with me. I came with questions, and I was always prepared when they were trying to throw out all the different medications and pharmaceuticals. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
let's find something different, which I did find a pharmacist who has a wonderful business and he will look at your list of medications and he
Mm-hmm.
will see if there's any kind of interactions and contraindications so that you shouldn't be taking this drug with this drug and he thins out your um, medication
Medication.
list.
Oh,
That
that
was amazing. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
that's key. And you said
Hmm.
something that was really key is that the physicians usually talk at you and that you came with questions. So many people don't come to the doctor with questions. They're scared to ask questions, but you have a right to know. And you should. You should write down your questions before
Absolutely.
you go so that when you get there, you know exactly what you want to talk about and what information that you need.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
prepared. They probably
Mm-hmm,
hated
mm-hmm,
seeing me coming. Oh,
mm-hmm.
well, here's that lady again. Yes, I am here.
So, one of the things when people find out that a loved one, a family member has dementia or Alzheimer's or a diagnosis, they're usually not prepared. That's key. They're thrust into the situation. They're not prepared. They don't know what to do. They don't have information. But you said you armed yourself with resources and information from the internet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And another wonderful resource here in Winston-Salem, we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of colleges, one of which is Wake Forest, and it's a school of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And there they hosted, it was through the Maya Angelou, s- uh, s- it was the Maya Angelou Health Equity. And so they put on a program called the Caregiver College, and it
Okay.
was to educate specifically African Americans about dementia and the risk signs, and the risk factors. And so I was able to participate. It was a
Mhm.
week-long course all day.
Wow.
Yes, it was wonderful and timely. I learned
Mm-hmm.
so much about the disease
Mm-hmm.
and opportunities for brain harvesting. And that was something that didn't sit well with me, but I learned that in order for us to make sure treatments are available and made for us, we
Mm.
have to be studied. And of course, the first thing in my mind was Tuskegee,
Yes. We
you
always
know?
think about no clinical
Yes.
trials. Oh, we stand away from that. Yes.
Yes. And I
Mm-hmm.
still, I know the importance, I understand the importance of it, but mom made the decision she wanted to be cremated.
Okay.
And even though she still could have um,
Participated. In the
participated
studies.
in the brain, having them take the brain, it just happened. Her decline went so quick and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't happen. So, but yes, I definitely advocate now for us because I've
Yes.
talked to a lot of the researchers who look like us,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctors, again, who look like us. And so it
Mm-hmm.
was easier to make that transition or to understand and to share with people that, to share your brain with research. And they
Yeah.
give you a very detailed report, from my
Mm-hmm.
understanding, after they do the full investigation.
Okay. Yeah. I have a whole session about clinical trials and importance of clinical
Mm,
trials.
yes.
So you're a caregiver now. How is that? What's the
Well,
experience like?
I mean, being a caregiver, I mean, we're 7 months out now, and
Mm-hmm.
and I was so busy. Um, I little glimpses of the grief
Hmm.
are starting to appear. And luckily, this area where I am, it is chock full of resources. I literally can walk to the hospice where my mom did a respite
Okay.
space. Uh, and so they also put on wonderful retreats. As a matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, last Friday, I attended a caregivers grief camp for adults.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
yes, it
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely amazing because everyone in the room was dealing with the loss of a loved one.
Okay.
And it was a safe container to
Mm-hmm.
just express and cry. You could participate. Um, and so, as a caregiver, I was going through my uh, coaching course at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And so a lot of the strategies and the lessons that I learned, I was able to apply. And I thought, if I could do this, then I could teach other people how to do this in the caregiving capacity of how to move through their caregiving role with confidence, with resilience, and to be empowered as an advocate for their loved one, because so many people feel unseen,
Mm-hmm.
unheard, and
Yes,
just lonely, and that they don't know where to go for answers.
absolutely. So I guess that's how you transform and became the caregiver coach.
The authentic
The
caregiver
authentic.
coach.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. That
Mm-hmm.
is because I when mom was, well, as actually I started January of 24. I started getting on Facebook. I had not been on Facebook. And I just would share what I learned because I thought a lot of my high school, I had had a high school reunion,
Hmm.
and we were talking, oh yeah, I'm taking care of my parent. I'm taking, and so I thought, let me share
Yep.
this with people.
Because
Because
so
if
many of us are going through it,
exactly,
especially in this,
exactly.
our age range. We're all
Yes,
going
that
through it.
sandwich,
Yep.
And so I started just sharing what I learned with
Hmm.
people because I thought, no, I didn't know. Let me
Right,
share it with
right.
someone else so they will know. And
Hmm.
so it just sort of gained some traction. And I
Oh,
thought, well, you know what? I think I can help people
that's
in their
amazing.
role.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what do you do? What are your services? What do you provide as the authentic caregiver coach?
Yes. So that is an excellent question. So I have a program and I
Hmm.
tailor it to um, individuals right now
Hmm.
because I want to work up to my group one because I want to see what people need, and I can custom tailor the program to that whole mindset and the paradigms because a lot of times we feel like we can't. And
Hmm.
you can. You just have to have the right direction and the right bridge to get you from the I can't territory to the I can territory.
Right.
And once you have those bridges and that support system that's
Mhm.
there for you, then you feel empowered. You feel like, well, you know what? It's not so bad.
Right.
I'm
I
not
can do
alone.
this.
Yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
I can do this. I can do this. And there has to be a change in how you see yourself in that role because a lot of times, sometimes people are voluntold to be in the role. Um, and so you don't have any kind of resources. And so that's when I come in
Hmm.
because I can offer that support, that check in, give you some life work, if you will. I don't call it homework, I call it
Hmm.
life work because
Okay.
those things that you are doing are preparing you for the next day and the next day and the next day.
Day
And
by day.
so, yes, you have to
Hmm.
take it
Day
day
by day.
by day.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
tomorrow, even though the sun is shining, it may not be shining in your neck of the woods,
Right, right.
but the next day it will.
Hmm.
And so I think I bring my charisma and my enthusiasm to people, and people see how I transverse that role, and they're like, I'll have what she's having
Mm.
because I really provide those tools to make you think about things because a lot of times we feel like everything is happening outside of us,
Hmm. Hmm.
but really it's the change that we have to do within that changes our outside, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah.
That mind shift.
And that's so important because, like you said, some people voluntold, some people don't have a choice. They're just thrust into the role.
Yes.
They may be the only person, and now your world has changed. And it's like, what do I do? What the heck? What have I gotten myself into?
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
does tomorrow
Absolutely.
bring? Where do I go from here? And we're not prepared. There's no training manual, there's no book.
Right.
You
And
just
the
do what you have to do.
self-care. The
Because self-care
self-care
is
is
so important.
so important. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes,
Because you
yes,
can lose yourself. And that's my tagline. While I'm caring for my loved one, who's caring for me? You
yes,
know? Yeah.
yes.
So what are three self-care mantras, things you would tell a caregiver? And then I know we're going to get into your
Ooh.
whole binder thing. That's what we're going to talk about, but all of this other stuff is so important.
So, first one is to just breathe. I know that seems crazy, but so many times I used to catch myself holding
Hmm.
my breath throughout the day,
Hmm.
right? If I'm doing something, I'm not really breathing, not deeply like I should. So,
Hmm.
taking just 4 minutes to do some deep breathing and feel what you feel in your body.
Okay.
Okay. The other one is to go outside if you can, because I know everybody, depending on where you are,
Hmm.
to ground, which means take your shoes off and step in some grass or on some actual ground, not asphalt, not cement, but on
Hmm.
the ground to reconnect and to discharge everything that you have in your body and to receive the energy that the earth is giving you. So they call that grounding, and you can look up, there's a whole movie on it.
Okay. Grounding.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
grounding, grounding. They even have grounding sheets and things.
Oh.
Um, and then the other one is to take time for yourself, even if it's to walk down the driveway and
Mm.
walk back up, or walk down the stairs and walk back up, to do something physical for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my background is in fitness, so of course I'm gonna suggest to do something that's physical. I
Physical.
like to go swimming. And so that's where I did a lot of my crying in the water,
Mm.
because no one could tell that you're crying because
Mm.
you're in
Oh,
the water.
cause okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I used to take my mom swimming with me too, and she would be over in the shallow end with her little
Mm-hmm.
bubble on, and I would go and do my laps, but still, I was grieving even there because I knew that my shero
Hmm.
had holes in her cape, and I knew that
Mm.
we weren't coming back around, if you will. It's on you're on that
Absolutely.
decline.
Mm-hmm.
So just acceptance of that, and just being present every single day, trying to be present every moment of the day, and celebrating what is right before me.
Yes, yes. And crying, that is a release.
That
Sometimes you
is a
have to let it
beautiful
out and have
release.
a good cry.
I was a crybaby in my family.
Hmm.
I
And
didn't
it's okay to
understand.
cry. It's okay. You
I
got to
got picked
release it.
on, yes, but I know now that is a very healing thing to do.
Yes, let it go. Let it out. So, when I came across your profile, yeah, you were doing your BYOB training, and no, not bring your own bottle, but bring your own binder. Bring your own binder, and you were talking
Yes.
about the documentation and the information and paperwork that you
Mm.
need as a caregiver, and you teach courses on how to create a binder. So tell us all about that. So because this is just so key to being a caregiver.
Yes. It was an inaugural
Mm-hmm.
event that happened on um, July 27th. And again, being an educator,
Mm-hmm.
we organize our things in binders, And so I thought, okay, I have all of these documents. You have your paperwork that you have to keep up for her visits, the appointment schedules, the after appointment, the after summary schedules, the doctor's cards, everything. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot. And I needed to find a very um, short,
Organized.
right,
Mm-hmm.
organized space that I could
Mm-hmm.
grab and go. And so a binder. And
Mm-hmm.
so in there, I house what I do in a day. Just
Okay.
because if something happened to me, who's going to step in and be able to do the routine that I do? So I had my morning routine, my schedule. I had a
Mm-hmm.
list of all of her doctors and the specialists. I had all her medications and the
Mm-hmm.
way in which she needed to take her medications, even down to what the medication looked like. So when she came to me, it would
Mm-hmm.
take me an hour to fill her medicine, for the month,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Okay.
was unfamiliar with it.
Right.
But I used to take pictures of down inside the cup to
Mm-hmm.
see what the
Right.
pills were. And then I started to put descriptions of what all the pills were, because different manufacturers, the pills, they will
Look
look the
different.
same, but they are
Mm-hmm.
different. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you're getting mail order shipments, which we did,
Mm-hmm.
depending on which insurance company you were getting them from, the pills would look different. And I was like,
Right.
whoa. So organizing that for my own sanity, it
Mm-hmm.
was made my life easier to fill her medication. Having just a narrative, because the first one was a quick overview, like your
Mm-hmm.
schedule at a glance. But
Mm-hmm.
then I had an actual narrative. I used technology to do videos of me. She used to wear a glucose monitoring, the continuous glucose monitoring. So
Mm-hmm.
how to put that on and take it off, because the
Wow.
first time, like, we laughed because I could
Mm-hmm.
not figure out how to do it. I probably wasted a couple of those things, and they're expensive too.
Yes.
So how to do the medical procedures. She was diabetic, so keeping up with all that. So all of that information, it was just nice to have it in one concise place. Um, and then my spiral notebook that I had when I went to the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time we went, I put a note and the date and the time and the doctor's name. And if there was a substitute doctor, what their name was, first and
Mm-hmm.
last name, because there's a lot of Dr. Smiths and a lot of Dr. Williams. So
Right.
um, just everything. And so I thought, you know what? I think I can market this and tell people
Mm.
about this. And I know that there are other programs out there,
Mm-hmm.
but mine was different, I felt,
Mm-hmm.
because I walked you through and then I gave you not just a hard copy for documenting your information, but I give you a file, an electronic file, so you can change it at will.
Wow, that was very organized. Oh my
And we
gosh.
actually need to do it for ourselves because in all your financial records and
Mm-hmm.
insurance records, I mean, everything that popped into my head, I just put it there because you're prepared for the worst. And you're not
Mm-hmm.
scrambling around when you're trying to grieve and plan a funeral. You have everything right there in that binder.
At your fingertips. Well,
Yes,
I'm just so fascinated. I'm so in awe with that. And while you were speaking, one thing, a memory that came to mind, even though my mother had dementia, she always remembered what medication that she took. And she would count when you gave her medication, she would count those pills. She knew those pills. She might not have remembered your name or anything else, but she knew those pills. She
Yes.
was like, nope, where's my blue pill? Where's my this
Right.
pill? And one thing that we had done, I used to work for a health insurance company, and
Mm-hmm.
we would have one of our programs was medication delivery service.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a medication delivery service who would put all the pills in a pack, a push pack. So all the morning pills and the evening pills, so that you would not have to, as a caregiver, have
Count
to
them out.
organize the morning pills, the evening pills, the daytime pills. So that's just something I just wanted to throw out there as a
Yes,
resource to people who may not
that
know.
is.
And it was so helpful, because they were all together.
Are they in a blister pack?
They're in a blister pack. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
it
wow.
was awesome. It was a great resource and tool that we use.
Mm.
So back to this binder. Do you have a copy to show us? Oh.
Oh,
I should have
well,
reminded you to bring a
right.
copy to show us. My
I,
fault.
you know
That
what?
just means you'll
Yes.
have to come back again and show us the binder.
Right. Yes. It's like I can't reach it. So,
It's okay. You'll come back and show us what this binder looks like. So
yeah.
if a caregiver is listening to this podcast and they're interested in a binder, how should they contact you? What should they do? What are the first steps?
Oh, okay. So,
Hmm.
like I provided a link to you,
Yes, and I will share
for
that.
yes, how to schedule a discovery call with me. So I can just sit down and talk with you, and
Hmm.
it's like a 20 to 30 minutes call, and
Hmm.
we just sort out what you have going on because a lot
Hmm.
of times what you say is really not what you got going on. So
Mm.
that's my specialty to help
Okay.
you,
Hmm.
and to see how we can work together. And even if you don't do the whole program that I
Hmm.
offer, we could do a custom tailored program for you for your unique situation. That's why I am the authentic
Authentic.
caregiver coach.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Hmm.
So, so they have that, and then I am on Facebook, the
Facebook.
Authentic
Hmm.
Caregiver Coach. I am on TikTok, and will you be sharing all those down below for
I
me?
will share all of
Okay,
that
so yes,
information.
TikTok and YouTube. YouTube is where I house all of the ones that were the not perfect ones, but they were just me getting on there emoting, hence the authentic, because sometimes I'm crying
Mm.
on the videos, but
Hmm.
you really see where I am and dealing with what I was dealing with at the time. I was
Okay.
happy, I was sad.
Hmm.
So, yes, you can see all facets of me on on YouTube.
Going through the journey.
Yes, going through that journey on that roller coaster ride. That's what I call it.
It
The
is a
roller
roller
coaster
coaster,
ride.
up and down, day by day. So
Yes.
just quickly, what are some things? I know we talked about medication list, names of doctors, your routine. I'm thinking power of attorney,
Yes, that is in
living,
there as well. Living Will.
living
And there's a
will.
place called Five Wishes. And
Hmm.
really, it's those five demands what people want, how I want to be treated, how I want what I
I'm gonna write
want to
that down.
be.
Five
Yes, it's
wishes.
fivewishes.org. And you can
Okay.
go online. There might be some organizations, your senior center or your center for aging in your area. Everybody
Hmm.
does it differently. They may have some copies. And it's like a different type of a directive and the directive where people are saying what they want in their final days when they can't speak for themselves.
Okay.
And so it was interesting. It's about uh, 12 pages or so, a
Hmm.
little booklet. And I had to do it in stages with my mom because I would get to the point where I just what we're talking about here, you know?
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
was like, "Ooh, wow, this is too much." Or sometimes she would say, Tam, we need to stop right now. And I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, we'll stop." So it took us a while to go through it, but it basically asks, how do you want to be treated? Do you want to
Hmm.
have, clergy here to pray for you? Do you want to um, have family members around you? Do you want people to be notified that you are ill? So it's really their
Hmm.
last five wishes that they would like to have as they are preparing to depart.
And I'm sure that's difficult not only for you, as the loved one, but also for the person who, has to provide that information because they're coming to the realization that at some point my journey will
Hmm.
end and I need
Hmm.
to share this information. We are very secretive with our stuff, you know. Yeah, so five wishes. Okay. So what other documentation? Insurance
Yeah,
papers, I'm
if any
sure. Yeah,
insurance papers,
insurance
the insurance
papers.
card, a picture
Mm-hmm.
of the loved one. A lot of times when we put on the memorial folder program, we have a picture of them that how they were. Like actors and actresses. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you need to update that picture, but
Mm-hmm.
have an updated picture of your loved one in there too. Mom was not a wanderer, but for some people with dementia, and if they're moving into the Alzheimer's, they are wanderers. They
Yep.
can get out. My
Mm-hmm.
auntie was a wanderer. And
Okay.
so if they get out and there's an APB out for them and they're looking for them, people need to know, have a
A
accurate,
current
a
picture.
current picture of them, what they look
Mm.
like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so
That's a
that's
good idea.
important. Yes, and then I am working on companion cards because as dementia got a little worse and she really didn't move into the next stage, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a different version of her.
Mm-hmm.
When we would go out to restaurants, we would place our order, and then as the waitress leaves and then they come back and check on you, mom always thought she was back to take the order again, and she would get a little upset that they weren't taking her order. So I would
Okay.
just slide this card and it says the person I'm with has some memory issues. Just be aware of that. And
Oh.
I
Now,
saw
did you create that card?
it was given to me.
Okay.
Um, and I'm going to sort of kind of change the language of it. That's
Mm-hmm.
more what I would say. Also, there was a card in there that if I'm in an accident and my mom
Mm-hmm.
is in the car, she is not going to be a resource that you can ask what's happening when the EMS comes, right? So it says, I I am caring for this person because she was
Mm-hmm.
always with me.
Right.
Here's the contact person you need to reach out to if I'm unable to respond. Does that make
Wow.
sense? So it's an emergency
Absolutely.
car for me.
Wow.
And those things were gotten from it was the Council on Aging here in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
And again, I went through everything looking for resources because when she came down here, we were in the midst of the pandemic. So a lot
Mm.
of things were shut down, but I could call and
Mm-hmm.
ask what service that they offered so that when things opened up, I was like,
Right.
I'm in line, I'm ready for
Mm-hmm.
this, I need this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
um yes, everything. Yeah, it was. And oh, there was a place, I'm trying to think, it just left my mind, but it's a place, med aids, because
Hmm.
with that stroke that my mother had, it took her, the last one took her sight. And
Okay.
so we were trying to find different aids. We had gone to the doctors and everything. But and it was gradually going, but that particular one took her
Hmm.
sight altogether. And
Okay.
so having devices around the house for
Mm-hmm.
her, uh, yeah, it's a
Wow.
catalog, med aids.
Med aids. Yeah, that's why you're the authentic coach because you have so much
Mhm.
information to share. Med aids. These are great tools. Wow. Okay. We are definitely going to have you back on because you have to
Oh,
show us the
yes.
binder and you have to show us some of the documentation for the caregivers
Oh,
because this is
yes.
awesome. This is just kind of touching the surface. Um,
And
any
you
of
don't realize what you need, you really don't. You just sort of put it together in your head, but
mm-hmm,
just when you talk with other caregivers and you share different things you do, I never thought about that, so
right.
it's a great way. And I just sort of started collecting all of those. I never knew about that and put them
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And again, it's day by day. There is no
Exactly.
perfect journey to
No.
caregiving. It's do whatever you can do.
Small steps,
One
small
step at
steps.
a
Just don't
time.
stop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, one
Yeah.
step at a time. Any other advice that you'd like to give to caregivers? Anything that you can think of to someone who's been in your situation, it's been in your journey? What can you say to them? And
I
I know
would,
we've shared some little tidbits, but
yeah, I would encourage people to participate in support groups. I didn't think that I needed it, but when I didn't go,
mm-hmm.
I missed it.
You felt the void.
I felt
Mm-hmm.
the void. Yeah, I love
Mm-hmm.
the way you
Mm-hmm.
said that. And so I would strongly encourage you to seek that out. And then even counseling. I go to a group, grief counseling. And the first time I went, I have to share this. I was just like, wow. Um, and this is before I started having my grief bubbles come up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was so, when I walked in the room, it was just so heavy. And I didn't like that. So I participated because
Mm-hmm.
once mom transitioned, I couldn't go to the support group anymore. I had to go to the grief group.
Grief. Mm-hmm.
And my friends and the people I had made connections with were in the other ones, but I understood. I
Right.
understood, but that transition was like the walk of like, it was a hard it was hard to walk into that
Mm-hmm.
room. I'll just say
Mm-hmm.
that. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was very heavy in there. And I went in and I was like all bubbly because, and they were like, well, when did she pass? And I'm like, oh, it's just been like a week or whatever. And they're like, looking at me. But when people went around and they were sharing and they were talking like 4 years, and I'm thinking, you're still, but I have learned everybody has their own schedule and you don't judge because, you know,
Yeah. I don't know if that feeling ever goes away.
no, no. And the anniversaries when they come up,
Yeah.
because mom passed in January, so I had Mother's Day. And it was
Mm.
like the first Mother's Day.
Those
And I
first
thought,
holidays
okay,
are rough.
what do I do? I hosted because someone told me from the pool.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you know what I did? She said, I hosted a tea party for all my friends. And I thought, so I hosted a tea party,
Yes.
right? And we
Mm.
just sat around and we talked and, we shared, and it can just, so I'm thinking this is going to be an annual thing. Have a tea
Tea
party
party in her honor. That's
for my
awesome.
friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
invite them over. And we use her china.
Okay.
So it was nice. It was really
Mm-hmm.
nice. So
Okay.
you try to create things to just raise your vibration, raise the frequency of it.
Mm-hmm.
And take one step at a
One
time,
step.
you know?
And there really is no definitive time on when you heal and get over this, your feelings. Whew,
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I have to breathe right now. It's been 7 years since my mom passed away.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
right now I'm feeling all of this. Ooh, so
We're in
you,
that sevens. I was in the
yeah.
kitchen. I was preparing a meal.
Mm-hmm.
We're from Ohio,
Mm,
and the OJ's family reunion came on. Girl, I had to sit
mm,
down. I
mm.
was done. I just started bawling and
Yeah.
doing that, and I was like, "Whoa, I wasn't
Mm,
expecting that," but
mm-hmm.
if you can recall that song, it's, talking
Yes.
about mom and all the people, and I'm thinking, everybody's gone.
Yeah. Mm.
Everybody's gone. She was the last one. And so, um, and the other day I was like, I wonder who. And I was like, I can't ask mom.
Mm,
And she would say
mm.
that. And I was like, well, mom, we're here. We can look it up and stuff. But I am in that space. And I'm just like,
Right.
whoa. So giving myself, and this is another thing, give
Mm-hmm.
yourself grace.
Grace. Absolutely.
Give yourself grace. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I just want to go take a nap. So I go
Mm.
take a nap
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that helps to just release things and just sort of reset,
Right. Right.
reset
Mm-hmm.
things. So I'm playing around with a lot of different things. And recently, this has just really intrigued me about the fact that we don't want to talk about death, but we all go through it.
We do.
And so I've been studying because this is something that, especially in the Black community, too.
Mm.
We just
Absolutely.
don't want to talk about it, but we
Mm.
have to have our stuff together. We have to make sure that by having ourselves together, that helps us honor them in their
Mm.
passing,
Mm. Yes.
if that makes sense.
That makes
And,
sense.
you know, remaining present,
Mm.
because I don't know about your family, but my family is a small family. But I've heard of people when they get together for the holidays and all this stuff starts coming up. Yeah, let it go, y'all. Let
Yeah.
it go.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stay present, because you never know if Uncle John is, or whomever, they're not going to be there next time. So celebrate,
Right.
celebrate.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Yeah, when we look at the cultural intricacies of African Americans, there's so many.
that's
Uh,
a whole nother conversation
that's a
and
whole,
series.
yes, that's a whole.
Let's do it.
Whew. Well, I am going to have a session on looking at the cultural understanding of
Yes.
caregivers because as part of my research, there were so many underlying things that came out from the fact that we don't like to put our family in nursing homes, the separation and going back to slavery. So there's a lot, and then the secrets within Black
Oh,
families.
yes.
Um,
She
I've
was
been
right
writing,
here.
listen, I've been writing a book for about, well, my son wasn't born, so close to 30 years called, that's a whole nother topic, but part of it is the secrets in the family. So that's,
That's going to be a beautiful book, because I
yes,
really,
we
you
hold on
know,
to these things and we don't want to share. And it's important that we know what's happening and share information.
to that point, I call hospice.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they're right around the corner, but she was right here in the house. I
Mm-hmm.
laid next to her when she took her last breath. And that was such a beautiful, and it was so valuable for me because she was there, obviously, when I took my first breath. And so I felt like
Mm.
that was a full circle that was
Yes.
completed, that
Mm.
circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me everything I needed, hospice. So that's another thing in our culture we don't want to deal with,
We don't
but
want to accept.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did, and I did not know that the date was so far. I thought they probably
Mm.
was like, this girl is like clueless. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
was. I
Right,
totally
right.
was, but they give you all the resources that you need
Mm-hmm.
to prepare you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean,
And
again,
they are
that's
spot on. They tell you what to look
spot
for. They are
on.
spot on. Yes.
Yes, yes. So I really, really, I didn't really understand what they did,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely am an advocate for them now because it just it took that weight off of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Well, we've touched on a lot of topics, and I know we could probably go on and on, but like I said, this is the first, I'm sure, of many
Many.
conversations, and this is what this is, just a conversation.
Yeah, love
Many
it.
conversations with you, and you've been so resourceful. Definitely shared a lot to think about, a lot of information. I will share all of your contact information with the audience so that they can get in touch with you. And
Mhm.
I just love having this conversation with you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for your time. We appreciate you telling your story, and we will definitely talk more and have another conversation
I
about
look forward
something
to that.
else.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
So thank you, Tamra Stokes, the Authentic Caregiver Coach,
Authentic.
for this time, your information, your resources, and for being a part of the Beyond the Care podcast.
I love that. I love
Yes,
that.
because we have to go beyond the care. It's
Beyond the care.
beyond the day-to-day what you're doing as a caregiver. There's so much more.
Oh, yes, that's an abyss.
Yes, yes. All right,
Thank you
beyond the
so much,
care.
Dr. Paula.
Thank you.